Get started right now.
I am going to read your mind through the screen.
Ooh.
Watch.
No, I told you, it's always 3. Artsy fartsy, where Ben tries crafts. So all of these little things, these are all phalanges. You take a roll of toilet paper and you draw a spider on it. And when you do that, you end up with this kind of thing.
Can you do magic for me now? Now, let me tell you, this line was so long, and I'm like, now? You want me to do magic now?
Oh, he stuck his tongue out! I don't know what that means.
I cut up a carpet. I sewed it myself.
Here we go.
Oh,
okay.
Try it.
It looks like you cracked your neck. Like that. Like, and you have to give good advice about it, bad advice about it, and worst advice about it.
Oh my goodness! What just happened here? I even got Ben.
That's a real bird, people. Let's end with a dad joke. Have you heard what Mozart's up to lately? He's decomposing. Because, he's not composing, he's... Hello and welcome to Forever Young Live with me, Ben Young. I am here to provide some quality online programming for all ages. So if you are all ages, I hope that you're tuning in live to watch this. And if you have any friends or family that you want to join the show to watch live, then please let them know and send this stream over their way across the cyber universe, networks, whatever. And let's have some fun. So like always, we're going to start the show with a word of the day. Now, today's word of the day is nautical. Nautical is an adjective. It means of or concerning sailors or navigation, maritime. Basically, it has to do with boats and sailing and that kind of thing. And used in a sentence, I wonder if Ben will teach us some cool nautical facts on Forever Young. I'll tell you right now, no, I'm not going to teach you any nautical facts, just the word nautical. So that is your word of the day. Your challenge is to use the word nautical as much as you can, preferably if you're plugging my show in some way or another. So we're going to jump into our special guest today. And we had a little bit of tech issue, so hopefully it works out. Okay, she looks like she's okay. So we are going to have my friend Katie Sakulski on today. Katie is not a magician, and which I love when I get to have a non-magician on the show. But she's a non-magician, but living in a magic world. She helps produce one of the largest magic conventions in the world. So she is very much surrounded by magic and has grown up surrounded by a lot of weird magicians. And some not so weird, but mostly weird. So please give a virtual round of applause to my friend, Katie Sakulski. Let's get her queued up right now.
Hello, hello.
What's up?
Not much. Chilling. What's up with you? Live show.
Thanks for being on the show. It was nice having you. All right, that's Katie, everybody. And no, I guess we'll chit chat.
We'll stay for a little bit and be like,
yeah, a little bit. Might as well. So, how's Michigan?
It's good. Today is very rainy and gray. Yesterday was bright and beautiful and sunny, and I was like, we're gonna have great lighting, and then now it's gray.
So horrible.
It's fine.
Didn't it snow like a few days ago?
It did. Last week we had a day that was like 65, and then the very next day was like 40, and it snowed for like a half hour. And I think my Instagram caught the mixed signals the weather was giving us. It was like rain, snow, bright sunny day, and I was like, it's only been an hour, but I hear that's what it's like this time of year. It's just a ping pong match.
So weird. My sister actually lives in New Hampshire, and they're kind of having a similar thing where normally it should be like, pretty moderate right now, but it snowed like 2 days ago. And then they're gonna go to the lake this weekend. Yeah,
it's supposed to. We looked at the weather today because I was like, I didn't know it was gonna rain, and in like a few days it's gonna be 80. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this bipolar weather.
Yeah. You know it. I mean, you're from Las Vegas, so you know how great it is here.
It's kind of it's weird and horrible weather, but it's consistent. Like you'll have a couple
you know
of
what's gonna happen.
the rainy days like make the world stop in Nevada. Everyone's
Oh.
like, "What is this?"
Angry. I get so angry because I tend to get headaches whenever it rains, and
Yeah.
so if I wake up and I'm sort of feeling like death, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, it's gonna rain. I did not sign up for this when I moved to Vegas.
Right.
Like, it's supposed to be a desert.
You understood that you were there for like the 109 degrees on like
Yeah.
a Tuesday, but you weren't like really what. And it actually gets kind of cold in Vegas, like temperature wise. Winter, it's like it lingers in the like 30s, 40s, and you're just the spectrum of Nevada is rough.
I just realized we're doing exactly what people aren't supposed to do. We're talking about the weather.
That's true.
It's like, oh, how's the weather? Oh, and then we just went on. We're such grown-ups now.
You want to talk about, like, the stock market? We could talk about the stock market next.
Stock market. I don't think it's doing well. My understanding.
I don't know anything about that. So.
Felicity Harfield's watching.
Hi, Felicity. She's in Michigan with me. She
said episode 6, I think.
Yeah, I mean, how many people from Michigan have you had on your show? 3?
You're number 3. You're number 3, and Mario the Magician was on, and he had lived in Michigan at one point as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I feel like he's lived everywhere. He takes his van and he's just like.
Yeah, but this was like before all that. Before he was like who he is
before he's the traveling man and family that he is.
Yeah, he was a different traveling man. So Felicity says that I should come visit in Michigan. I was actually thinking when I got you on the show, I was thinking that it would be fun to have. So for the people that are watching who are a little lost, Katie lives in Michigan now, although she's from Las Vegas originally. Felicity, who was on the show, is from Michigan. Cameron Zavara lives in Michigan, and Mario is from Michigan originally. But I think it'd be fun to have all of us in one like Brady Bunch.
Oh yeah, there.
All the Michigan people, and then it'll be fun. So you guys all live within. I don't know. Everyone lives in Detroit in Michigan, right? That's
right.
There's nothing else. So.
Yeah, we all live downtown in like a high-rise building. The 3 of us, 3 best friends.
It's funny how when you're a kid, you kind of think that that's how it's going to work out, and
things I was going to live with every single one of my best friends. I was like, oh, when we live together.
We've got more. Oh man, dude, this is a Michigan appreciation episode. What's up, Wendy Zavara? Thanks for having a good egg of a son. I think that's Zavara's mom.
This is like our magic friend's mom mostly. If my mom wasn't working, she would like jump in on this.
Oh, I bet. My mom is probably gonna jump in at some point. Usually around artsy fartsy.
You should have a mom episode, just like moms only.
That would be pretty fun. That'd be a fun episode. So let me ask you. So because you're not a magician, so actually let me ask you this, because I actually hadn't thought about this. But was it like a conscious decision to not be a magician, or did you just never? Because you could have gotten into it very easily.
Yeah.
You're very for people who don't know, Katie's dad started like a major magic convention and a major magic publication, a magic magazine called Magic Magazine. So Katie has literally grown up with magicians all around her, so I mean, was it a conscious decision to not be a magician, or did you just never really get the performing bug?
I think when I was little, I felt like being in magic and eventually doing magic was kind of like what I was supposed to do. Like I assume people who like have parents that are doctors, you're like, well, I should go into medicine. I mean, that's more respectable and difficult, but there's kind of just this immediate pressure to do what your parents are doing because it's just what you see an adult do, and you're like, oh, well, I want to be that. But my brother and I, when we were little, would perform magic, not really for anybody, but like we would work on magic. We would want to like try to figure out how things were done. We would use like our piano bench, and like I would stand on top and I'd pull up the sheet, and then he would like grab it and I would disappear under the piano bench, and we would do dumb little things like that. But we I think partly because my dad is more of a stage magician. He's not really close up. We saw all of that. And so we wanted to do those kind of like bigger things.
Sure.
So we never really like studied close up or anything that required more skill. So once we got out of kind of playing with the bigger physical objects, he stuck with it better than I did. My brother like had cards and books and DVDs, and he actually kind of dug into it. I think I was just kind of following the path of like, I'm supposed to assist him. And I eventually was like, I don't like being on stage. I really don't have the performer bug. So I think I just kind of was like, I'll just find my own path one day. And then luckily, with my dad's business, I've been able to stay in touch with everything without like actually having to get up on stage. Usually my dad's dragged me up a couple of times, but not for a trick, which I appreciate. I don't think I could keep a straight face and be like, wow. I just don't think I could do that. But
well, you kind of get what Felicity gets, where it's like kind of the best of both worlds, where you get all the fun things out of magic without actually having to perform on stage. By the way, Keith Fields has said, is anyone watching who's not from Michigan or in my house?
Technically, I'm not in his house, but
I'm not either. But I'm not really watching. I'm too nervous over here trying to come up with perfect interview questions.
I'm really hoping Cameron's mom is like over at their house.
That would be amazing.
If it wasn't social distancing, I feel like that would totally.
I know. Well, I don't know. We'll take a poll at some point. We'll see. We should just get all these Michigan people just all in one live stream. That'd be a lot of fun.
It'd probably be quite big. It'd be like trying to get everyone from Vegas like to join a live stream. It would be
it'd be hard.
Impossible.
Yeah. So what why did I write that down? So what do you think, because you've worked with a lot of magicians, right? So there is a magic convention called Magic Live. For those of you who don't know, who aren't magicians, the kids that are watching or whatever, there are magic conventions where magicians from all over the world can gather and kind of share ideas and learn from each other and just become friends and all that kind of thing, which is really cool. And so Magic Live gets about 1,600, right? Mm-hmm. About 1,600 magicians. It's in Las Vegas, 1,600 magicians in one building for 3 days. It's pretty crazy. And so you're part of the organization behind all that, and you've worked with a lot of acts. So what do you think the weirdest thing about magicians is? I know it's kind of a generalization, but like.
That is not where I thought you were going. I thought you were going to be like, who is your favorite or something.
No favorites.
Yeah, no, I was like, oh, Lord, how do we answer this like a politician and be like, everyone?
Yeah.
The weirdest thing in magic.
Just kind of like what do you find is just really weird about magicians in general? Which I know it's a weird question, and like I love magic and magicians, but I also know that like we're weird people, and I just think it's kind of interesting to see what other people see in it.
Yeah, it's hard because I've never gotten the ability to look at it as an outside perspective, but I feel like the weird thing I'm gonna pick is I'm gonna try to pick a positive one, so that I'm not bashing, but
right.
But I feel like one of the weirdest things is that the whole goal of a magician is to try to hide something, that you're trying to like trick someone, that like if you're doing it right, you're doing a lot of hard stuff and no one can tell any of it.
Yeah.
And the community that magic has when it's like based on secrets it does not add up. If you were like, I can't tell you what I did or how I did it, but I also have thousands of friends that I have that we do this with, doesn't really make sense. And no other art form, I feel like, that I've been able to dive into has that sense of community. Like you don't get, I'm sure there are events, but I don't feel like artists like painters and photographers, like I don't know other people that are like, oh, I just hang out with all my photographer friends. It's kind of like, that's a one-off. You do your work, I do my work, but like magicians all work together, but then also they're the only people they can talk to about it. So it's like,
yeah,
it's kind of like the weird gem of magic is just the community.
That is a very astute observation.
Thank you.
That's really, yeah, because I mean, the thing with magic, that the people that are non-magicians that are kind of out of the magic world, one of the things that they ask, I don't know if they ask you, but they ask me a lot, is like, how do magicians learn magic if it's all like a secret?
Right.
But the thing is, and it is that kind of, it's kind of a contradiction, because we have to keep secrets, but if we keep secrets, then no one can ever learn, and then
Right.
magic dies. So you have to share at some point. But so you
Right.
share with people that you're close with and that are
And
interested.
so it's like bred that sense of community, because it's like you can't, you need to like have friends and network in whatever you do, because people are by nature social. And so magic has like bred this great community where it's the only place that you can say like, I've been working on this double lift and I'm really struggling. And you can't, unless you go into a magic shop, like who are you going to talk to just off the street?
Right.
That's a stranger that's going to know what you're talking about, as well as you don't want to reveal something to the wrong person. You don't want to take away that like sense of wonder for them, because that's the only unfortunate thing I think Felicity and I have, is that it is hard to feel the same when you watch something, when you're like, oh, I know exactly what you're doing. Like, good job. But it's, when I was little, I wanted to figure everything out. And now I'm like, I wish I didn't know everything.
Yeah, it's a totally different thing. You go to a magic convention or a magic show and you know how everything is done, or you at least have a decent idea.
Yeah.
And you're clapping for the appreciation of it rather than like the amazement of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Wow. And also, the first thing that you said was that magic's weird because we're hiding what we do, putting a lot of work into it, and that is really really interesting, because like with a juggler, for example, their whole purpose is to show their skill, and with magic, the idea is to show that it shouldn't look like you're doing anything.
Yeah.
Even if you're working on doing a move that you've worked on for 20 years.
Yeah. Well, and
So
even like just with the dialogue, it's kind of like magicians get to tackle the actual like logistics and method of a trick. And then if you're a talking magician, now you have all the same work of a stand-up comedian or of an actor, and you're literally juggling between like, let me make sure I just smacked my watch, I'm fine. Make sure I'm doing the like mechanics of the magic right, and then also like, let me sound like I'm just off the cuff saying this thing that I've rehearsed 400 times or whatever. Like people like David Copperfield who like tell you a story that he's told 100 times, and you're like, wow, that was a great story. And you're like, he's also
I never saw snow as a child.
Yeah, I never saw snow, and I grew up in
New Jersey.
Don't think about it too much, and it's amazing.
No, yeah. Well, he and his family, they always went to Florida, for the winter.
Oh,
Obviously, that's how you'd never see. That's
sure.
they migrated. So I always like to ask people about their quarantine eats, because in Michigan you guys are especially quarantined. Have you been eating anything interesting, or have you been I don't know if you cook, or have you been cooking, or has Pete been cooking, or or have you had any interesting foods? Are you starving? Do you need help?
Yeah, I haven't eaten in 30 days. No, I would say that we've been cooking, but like very basic building block staples like spaghetti, tacos level. We haven't done a lot of experimental cooking. Pete was trying to be healthy at the start of this. It was very bad timing that he was like just getting into his workout regimen, and like, and he's like, cool. And now gyms are closed and the weather wasn't good enough to be like running or whatever. So I feel like the like healthy, unhealthy thing we've gotten really addicted to are these frozen Greek yogurt ice cream bars that Costco has. They're called Yasso, and they're like mint chocolate chip, but they make like a bunch of different flavors. I think we've eaten like one a day for like 40 days. So that's like my big thing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and then my other thing that like I can't not go to the grocery store and get is Pop-Tarts, because I normally would just be like, I don't need a Pop-Tart, I'm an adult, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm stuck at home.
Yeah, we don't feel like adults anymore.
No, I'm just like, let me eat my Pop-Tart and be happy. Like, let me think of back to my youth.
So my girlfriend Marissa, who's watching from work right now,
Which I appreciate. Matt,
clearly very busy at the T-Mobile here in Las Vegas. But she said spaghetti tacos ! And then my mother said spaghetti tacos with a bunch of question marks. Do you want to explain spaghetti tacos for those who don't understand?
Well, so I meant that I made spaghetti and I made tacos.
Oh, spaghetti, tacos.
Yes, it was like I didn't have a third item, but now I'm actually very intrigued about.
It is a thing.
It is.
Yeah, it's a thing. I've never done it. I think that my girlfriend's family maybe knows about it, or some reference to. I think it's a reference to like a Nickelodeon show or something.
Can you use hard taco shell and just like put spaghetti?
I think so. And I mean, in theory, I mean, how bad could it be, right?
It's a tortilla chip mixed. Oh, maybe it's iCarly. Yeah.
iCarly, yeah.
That makes
sense. I mean, it. You know,
I'll have to try
of spaghetti in one.
It seems like it might be, I don't know, it could be a messier or it could be an easier way of eating spaghetti because you already kind of have to like spiral your fork.
Right. This, you're just biting straight through the noodles.
And if you didn't use like spaghetti and you used like penne or like something, it might like stick in the taco, just kind of stay.
Oh, right. Okay. So here's what I want from people. Try to make spaghetti tacos, all right? And send me pictures, okay? I want to see it. Tag me at Ben Young Live. Let me see your spaghetti taco creations, all right? That's what I want for those people that are watching. So
if you learn one thing,
it's about spaghetti tacos. That mean this was worth the price of admission.
Mm-hmm.
So Katie.
Yes.
You get to ask me a question.
I get to ask you a question? Okay.
You get to ask me a question.
Let's see. I know so many things.
I told you ahead of time that you'd have to ask me something. But
no, this is way better because now I just get to be on the spot. Okay. It's kind of a between two things. So you have to pick one and then tell me why you picked that one.
Okay.
Would you rather be stuck in stay-at-home quarantine? I know Vegas is just starting to open, but like imagine when it wasn't. So
sure.
Go back to quarantine for 3 months, or be stuck on a cruise ship performing magic for 3 months.
That's tough.
It is tough.
It's tough.
I tried to use the word of the day in there, and I couldn't figure out how.
Well, the cruise ship is very nautical.
I know. I was like, or would you rather be on a nautical quarantine?
So in this hypothetical, on the cruise ship, am I actually doing shows while we're stuck on the boat?
Yes. So it's not so much like you're stuck dead at sea. It's like you're on a cruise ship for 3 months, can't leave the cruise ship
because of the
working. Yeah. Like if you didn't get to go on like port days and things like that.
Right. Yeah. Oh, man. I think I'm going to have to say quarantine at home.
Okay.
Because being stuck on a cruise ship with limited Wi-Fi.
That's what I was thinking.
A little when you don't think you're going to be stuck on a cruise ship.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you don't pack for like a week contract.
Yeah.
And then that would be. And I've never actually performed on a cruise ship before.
Okay.
So that would be a big thing to jump into right now in this hypothetical.
You mean you don't have your cruise ship like show, just like?
Well, no, I mean, I could do it. It'd be great, but being stuck for 3 months all of a sudden would be.
Yeah. I would probably say comfort of home would probably. Yeah. Strong Wi-Fi signal.
Where I can cook and kind of control my life a little bit, hopefully. Yeah. So we're gonna move. Oh, actually, the last question is: the show is called Forever Young, which is not only a play on my last name, but it's also a mindset of being forever young and being youthful and excited about things and curious. What do you do to stay forever young?
Oh, that's a great question. I feel like I'm actually a very curious person, but I'm a very shallowly curious person. So as soon as I like see something, I want to like find out how to do it, or I want to learn more about it. But I don't stick with it very long. But I don't think that's necessarily bad because it means I like dabble in a lot of tiny things. So I'm like I like photography. I actually probably dove into that one a bit more. But I like bought a camera when I was like 15, and I think I didn't use it again for 2 years, and I actually came back to it. But at first I was like, I just want to start taking photos, and then like shelves that, and then I'm like, I want to learn guitar, buys a guitar. And then so I think I'm just kind of constantly looking for what is gonna be my hobby, because like not that magic's a hobby, but some people use magic as a hobby, but
Sure.
I don't have like that hobby. I've gotten into reading over this quarantine, but I don't really play an instrument anymore. I don't sew or like do anything like that. So I think I'm just always kind of dabbling and trying to find like what that one thing I'm going to love is, but it allows me to learn just a tiny bit about all these different things that I can respect and appreciate it so much more, because I'm like, I can't do that. That's hard.
And that's what makes you a great web show guest, because we can talk about everything.
Yeah.
Or we can just talk about magic and spaghetti tacos like we did. So we're going to move on to trivia. Now, in the past few weeks, we've been doing the whatever wheel, and you basically said you didn't want to do the whatever wheel. So
I was afraid of it. I was afraid of the surprise.
We've turned it into a trivia wheel.
Okay.
So let me get this queued up. And
I like to play trivia. I suck at it. Get ready.
So each one is a different trivia question, and let's see how it goes. All right, so it's a little small on there. It says, what is the favorite food of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Oh, it's a type of, isn't it like a fast food situation?
It is a fast food situation.
I want to say pizza.
That's correct.
Yes.
Amazing.
I've never seen or like played with anything Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was good.
You know what? I didn't either. My mom wouldn't let me watch them as a kid because they were too violent.
That's hilarious.
That's probably how I got into magic.
I just remember like they have like a couple of them have like really weird, like Michelangelo, I think is a name.
They're all named after painters from like the Renaissance era.
Oh, that's weird.
Actually, no, they may not all be the Renaissance, but they're all named after artists.
But that made me think like Italian pizza, like that.
Oh, and that's probably where it came from.
Yeah,
it's very good. All right, here we go. Let's do another one. Okay, what kind of bulbs were once exchanged as a form of currency? Now, bulbs meaning like flour.
Okay.
Bulbs, flour was once used as a form of currency. Oh, let me bring it back up while you answer.
I'm trying to imagine in what time period this. I mean, obviously this is old.
While you're thinking, my mom has chimed in. She was an art teacher. She's naming all of the.
Donatello.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Leonardo probably.
Yes, it was Leonardo. Wow, okay, that's impressive. I mean, that would make sense for her to know that, though.
Yes.
Okay, I really don't have a good answer.
What type of flower bulb was once used as currency?
I feel like it doesn't feel like it would be like the most obvious flower, which like I think of like.
It's not a crazy flower. Like you've heard of it for sure.
Okay.
It's not like
like
rose.
I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say daisy, but I don't have any particular reason. Is it daisy?
It is not a daisy. It is the tulip.
Oh, that's my favorite. Damn. Okay. I'm upset, but that's cool. That's good. That makes sense.
Let me.
How much money would a tulip have gotten?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
I look up trivia. I don't get any of the back information about it.
This is probably why I shouldn't handle this for you. I would tell you way too much information.
All right. Speaking of currency, when was the euro introduced as legal currency on the world market?
Ooh.
What year? I have my notes over here. Yeah, Hannah, my friend Hannah from high school, actually
right.
guessed tulip correctly.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check the comments now. If anyone knows about the euro.
Yeah. Yeah. No Googling though. No Googling. I'll give you a hint. It was not earlier than 1995.
So it had two like trains of thought. I was like, it was either a really long time ago, or because you're saying introduced to the world, like.
My mom's saying nobody knows this. All right. The answer is actually January 1st, 1999.
Huh.
Yeah. That's kind of how trivia goes. You're like, oh, okay.
Sure, I believe you.
All right, we'll do two more. Here we go.
I started strong, and now look at me.
All right, you got this one. What is Elvis Presley's middle name?
Oh Lord. I don't actually. I'm not from Nashville, where you probably.
Yeah, but you're from Vegas, where there's so many impersonators. You could have asked any of them.
How often do you think an Elvis impersonator really knows about him, though?
I don't know.
It's got to be weird.
It's a little weird. It's not like a made-up name, but
I'm not gonna get it.
All right, it is Aaron.
That's not weird.
No, but it's not super common, but it's not.
No.
It's not. Yeah, like I said, it's not like a made-up name. All right, one
I
more.
thought Elvis was the made-up name.
Yeah, right.
But okay.
Here we go. One more. Final chance for glory. Okay, if you don't get this one, what is the largest freshwater lake in the world?
In the world?
In the world. Largest freshwater lake.
Say like I'm supposed to get it just because I'm in like the Great Lakes state, but what if?
Yeah, well, that's your big hint, Katie.
But I don't know which one's the biggest one. I wasn't raised here, people.
I know, but you've been living there for almost a year.
I'm gonna just say Lake Michigan.
That is not the Superior Lake.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, maybe it's supposed to be.
It is Lake Superior.
Well,
yay for trivia.
And I'm so good at it.
So we're gonna move on now to show and tell. Yay! Where just like in kindergarten, we get to show and tell interesting things. So I'll pop mine up first real quick. So this is actually something that I got from the most recent Magic Live. And let me share the video. Let me find it here. Blah, 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 blah. And there's no sound, so don't worry about that. Here we go. Oh, think, Ben. Load it onto the thing. There we go. Okay. Watch. It's a square with 4 circles. And then whoa! It's so cool.
It's very cool.
My show and tell. And I actually have it here, but I wanted to make sure I got the angle right on the thing, because it's a little bit tricky to do if you don't. That was okay.
Yeah, that's not bad, actually.
Yeah, I had practice. So that's what is that? Is an ambiguous object? Is what they call it, right? Yeah, ambiguous object from some professor magician in Japan.
Yeah.
Name I don't remember. There's a lot of letters.
His name is Dr. Kokichi Sugihara.
There you go. Yeah, and it's super cool. He did a session at Magic Live where he talked about ambiguous objects, and he showed a bunch of them, and it was really crazy stuff. So, Katie, what would you like to show and tell today?
In a similar vein, mine is actually sort of magic-y related for being a non-magician.
Something magic related. Okay.
Oh, we're getting into the songwriting. This is our pre-show, everybody. So I have a deck of cards that are the Tally-Ho cards, and they were given to me by a family magic friend. His name is Charlie Fry, and if you don't know who Charlie Fry is, you really should look him up. He's been posting some amazing things on the internet during this quarantine.
Yes.
Phenomenal
Put his
juggler,
name on the thing.
juggler, magician, artist. He draws Christmas cards. He's fantastic. So if you don't know Charlie Fry, he's great. But he gave me this deck of Tally-Hos that was his deck, so he like warmed it all up. It's all nice and flexible now. And he was going to teach me some cardistry, which if you don't know what cardistry is, it's a new word of the day. It's when you do like the flourishes and the cool like shuffles and the cool tricks, and it's just like showing off with your cards. It's card art, and some people are crazy good at it, like Charlie. I am not one of those people, so don't get too excited. But but he taught me a couple of tricks, and I only remember one of them, and it's just a one-handed cut. I believe it's called the Charlier cut or something like that.
Yeah, it's like French.
Yeah, and so I have the deck of cards, and I'm gonna try. I don't know if I can. Maybe I can do it if I can't look. It wasn't great. It's nice and slow motion, but it's getting worse as we go. But I used to be able to do it with two hands. I haven't tried it in like 3 years.
Oh, like doing it one in each hand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slightly better in my left. That's weird. But it's kind of a fun little thing. That one you could probably learn in like a couple minutes if you just watched a couple YouTube videos about it. But it's a fun quarantine thing to try to do, is learn some.
It is. Yeah. So if you look up it's called the Charlier. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
But if you look up like one-handed cut on YouTube, you could find it. And
yeah. But you don't have to have like any magic ability to do. There's a couple like really easy, just kind of like next time you're playing like poker or whatever, you can like do it and people are like, what? Yeah, you can be one of those cool like it's like the equivalent of that Pirates of the Caribbean like coin thing that everyone learned.
Yes. Yeah, was it a ring that they were doing?
It was the coin.
Was it an actual coin?
Yeah, it's those coins that they like stole is what turns them into
the thing. Yeah, pirate stuff.
Yeah, and then Johnny Depp does it once. He's like the skeleton, and it's like his bony fingers are like.
Yes.
I never got it down, but like you just walk around a magic convention and you're gonna see someone who's just like casually like.
Yeah, because that is one of the weird things about magicians is that we like to show off our little things all the time. We wear our little fedoras and we go around and we just,
You spend hours doing it. You get a better reaction outside of magic. People are like, "That's cool at magic," but like, put it away.
100%. Katie, it's now time for Artsy Fartsy.
Yes.
I know, where Ben tries crafts. This is my mom's favorite
or least favorite
show. So we're gonna make a paper helicopter.
Oh,
which is it's easier than it sounds. It's gonna end up looking like this. All right, it does not look like a helicopter, but it acts like one. When you drop it, it spins like little propellers and it falls down. So it's super easy to make. I'm going to angle this down a little bit like this so people can see. So what you want to do is take a slip of paper like this. It doesn't have to be super big, but something like that. And you are going to cut a slit down about kind of halfway or so like that. And you bend one of these are going to be the propellers. You bend one direction, and then you bend the other one the other direction like that. And then a little bit further down, you're going to make a slit about halfway over. That's actually probably a little bit too much. Halfway over like that. And then let's see if we can fold. It's hard to show crafts on a camera.
Yeah.
But you fold you're doing it over like that so that you have your little propellers, and then you have this little section that sort of sticks out on either side like that. So this part is thinner. And then you fold the bottom part up just a bit like that. And then you paper clip it. So I'm going to steal this paper clip like that. That gives it a little bit of weight, and it holds everything together. And now you just need to You can throw it up, or you can just drop it and it will spin. I don't think you're going to be able to see it if I try it here, but we can. No. But if you look it up on the YouTube, if you look up paper airplane, you'll see this, and it does work, and it works really great if you have like 2 stories and you can drop it off of like the stairs or whatever like that. In a 2-bedroom apartment on the 1st floor, not as exciting, but still pretty fun. And if I can make this, then anybody can make this. And this actually works. I tested this one, like I made it in 5 seconds, and it actually worked. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. I hope my mom is proud of me. So listen, I am a magician, so I can't go through the whole show and not show any magic. So I'm going to show a little bit of magic. This is actually a video that I posted a few years ago, and it went viral for me on Facebook in that it got like 3,000 views in like 2 days. And I don't know why. I didn't do anything to like promote it or anything, but people shared it and watched it. On YouTube, it didn't do as well. But it's one of my favorite tricks to do. I do it all the time. And my hair is really long in this video, but it's starting to get there again now. So we'll pop this up. Closely. Right now, the pen is pointing that way. Now, the pen is pointing that way. Now it's pointing up, now it's pointing down. Internet, are you with me so far? I hear yes. Because if you watch that pen, and you watch it closely, you will actually see the pen become pointless. Now, it doesn't go far, it just goes to the other end of the pen. I have more trouble writing with this thing, because when I think it's pointing that way, it's actually pointing that way. Now, I want to say right now, there are no camera tricks being used in this video. It's pure basic psychology. When you see the end of the pen go from one side to the other, you experience magic, wonder. It's a tension and release, and in that moment, you blink your eyes. You relax, you blink. And when you blink, that's when I do the secret move, which looks like this. Whoop, just like that, so that it points the other way, and you miss it every time. In fact, you probably missed it that time too. Now, I know it's a crazy thing. I don't totally understand it. We can cover it with the cap. We push it through the hand, and it still goes to the other end. In fact, we'll do this one more time. We're going to cover it with the cap again, and we're going to go super slow with only one hand. I'm not going to use the other hand to distract you. Watch. 3, 2, 1, and that is how that happens, and that's the part that even I don't totally understand. Thanks. All right, so that was a little bit of old school magic, but that is one of the pieces of magic that I do a whole lot. I get kicked out of Office Depot a lot for that one. But, yeah, well, yeah, I try to be funny every now and then. So it is now time for, wait for it, Spotlight of Awesome.
I thought you were going to do like an echo.
Awesome. Where I basically just find something cool on the internet and share it. And today I wanted to share.
Other than your pen video, you didn't want to double dip?
My pen video, yeah. I have to make the distinction between magic and awesome.
Awesome, yeah. Not quite there.
But we're gonna show something from the late great Charlie Chaplin. Have you heard of Charlie Chaplin?
I have, yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so this is I don't remember what year this is. I don't think it says on the video. Let me bring it up. Oh, Brendan Carlisle wants to hold on. Brendan Carlisle wants to know if he missed Artsy Fartsy. Yes, you did, but I'll teach you how to do it, buddy. We made paper helicopters. All right, super fun. You really missed out. Okay, so let's see, where did Charlie Chaplin go? All right, so this is just it's like a short 1-minute video of something that Charlie did that was just kind of quirky and fun and cute, and I've always really liked it. You know, it's so silly and random, but it's so charming, and I've always really liked it. I actually got to do a giant project back in high school that was like all about the Roaring Twenties, and so I got to learn about Charlie Chaplin a little bit. But yeah, my mom loves Charlie Chaplin. Marta Lee wants to watch June now because there's
he does it in Infinity.
yeah. And there's also a movie I haven't seen in a long time that I want to rewatch called Chaplin, where Robert Downey Jr. plays Charlie Chaplin.
I've never seen it, and I hear it's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's probably very, very good. So we're gonna have to watch it sometime. Now, that's like we're wrapping up the show. So if people want to follow Katie Sakulski and see all of her crazy quarantine life stuff, you can follow her at Katie Sakulski. And you can follow me, of course, at Ben Young Live. I do this show every Thursday, and I hope that people tune in live. I really don't like how that looks. I don't like how that looks either. Okay, we're gonna do that. But you can follow me. We do this every Thursday. Quality online programming for all ages. Tell your family, tell your friends. And I also do virtual magic shows now in this crazy era. I'm doing a show on Saturday, actually, a birthday party, which is super fun. It's weird, but it's a blast, kind of taking magic to this virtual medium and being able to connect people from all over. So if you're interested in booking a virtual magic show, you can contact me from my website, benyounglive.com. And that's about it. So Katie, thank you so much for being on the show. You're getting a massive virtual round of applause. There's just a huge delay, okay? There's just a huge delay. And we always end the show with a dad joke. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. What is an astronaut's favorite part of a computer? The space bar. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. That's Forever Young. I will see you next week.